And literally in New Jersey, it is the big election because we, in our Constitution in New Jersey, gives so much power to our governor, and that's who's up for election this year is the governor of New Jersey, as well as our assembly and um, plenty of local offices. So I wanted to just remind people that, first of all, the election is on November 4th, 2025, so in less than 3 weeks. Early voting is from October 25th to the 2nd of November, and there's nothing going on November 3rd. And then obviously, election day is on November 4th. So, what we're going to talk about today is the election, some policies under, some of the people running, and the importance of our vote, the Christian vote, the faith vote, actually. So we want to get people involved. We hope that people understand that every single vote counts. um, we saw it last time. We see it especially in local elections. Some people win by just a handful of votes, so literally every single vote counts. Dr. Rich, you want to add to that some experiences that you've seen?
I would love to start with some really, really good news. Okay, so here's some really good news. When we were heading into the 2024 elections, um, as far as national organizations go, all the big conservative organizations, none of them were spending any time in New Jersey because they thought it was an unwinnable state. They weren't going to spend money where they weren't going to win. Meanwhile, the Democrats were spending tons of money. Well, I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that because of all the efforts of channels like this one, of efforts like the people on this program, all the stuff Jim was doing with the Coptics, I am convinced that because of everything that you folks did leading up to 2024 election, it's the reason that the state of New Jersey finished only 5 points behind, which was almost historic because you brought it to 5 points, and I know it was the faith vote. I know it was. Uh, Jennifer tells me about the social media all over Egypt the day after the election, how they had for people that had voted for the first time and everything else. But but this state right here is now in play. So all those major national organizations, they're in your state. They've been in your state for several months. They're all coming to your state right now. You're receiving help from places that you've never received help for, all because of all the hard work of this television network and other networks like it, and all the boots on the ground and all the efforts you folks had leading in the 2024 election. You brought it close enough to make it a battleground state, and congratulations for that. As we head into this 2026, this fall, here in 2025 in New Jersey in particular, the rest of the country will be in 2026 with the midterms. Literally, I mean, literally, it is a turnout election. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, whatever side turns out the most people, this isn't a hearts and minds. This isn't a we got to get out there and try to get as many. No, people have pretty made up their mind. Most of the people that are going to register. It's too late to register right now after today anyway. But this in the midterm elections, the turnout tends to be so low that if either party, if their people just half of them just showed up, they'd have won by a landslide. And so the
Yep.
biggest thing I want the faith community to know in New Jersey is that your vote matters in these elections more even than it does in the general elections. Because literally, if just half of us turn out, that there's just half the people, there's victory there. And so the one message that I told Jennifer in the state of New Jersey, especially in the Coptic and the Orthodox faiths there that are there, the goal is this: those that voted last time, please vote again when early voting starts or at the poll. Number one, and number two, bring a friend.
Yeah.
That's the two goals.
Yeah, I think that we came so close, and I do remember people even telling me that they didn't get a chance to vote.
عفوا يا جماعة بنحاول نظبط الدنيا معلش.
people, but churches help people get to the polls, put them in vans, put them in buses, whatever they need, help them get to the polls, or teach them how to vote early, because the faith vote will decide what happens in New Jersey. I'm convinced of that.
Amen. I also wanted to add that we as community need to understand these people who we are voting for. We need to understand that this Mickey Sherrill, she's completely endorsed Mandani, who's the socialist. We're not ready for that. Like in New Jersey, have almost 500,000 people from North New Jersey go and work in New York City every day. So this will affect New Jersey as well. It's not that, oh, that's a different city, or no. The woman literally endorsed a man of socialism, which means who knows what she would do in New Jersey. Also, she's very vague. Like we couldn't understand really her policies. She would not. She refused to say that she will reduce the tax on houses and income and all this stuff. She refused to say anything. She refused. It's like vague. The same old Democrat who will never admit their policy or never say anything, and anything they say never happens. Unlike Jack Chidarali, you will find him clear about tax, reducing tax, clear about freedom, about the parents' freedom of education of their children, all this stuff that we need, and boys and girls bathroom and boys and girls sports, all stuff that actually touches us and touches our faith daily, and it touches our children. Also is good with business like entrepreneurs and all this stuff. He's very good because he himself is a businessman. So we can tell through his policies that he will make New Jersey better, way better than it was, and changes all the bad policy of the old administration.
Yeah. You know what I always tell people is to ignore what they hear on TV and ignore like commercials and ignore like the news and things like that, and just go straight to the source and go to what their platforms are. Go to each candidate's platform, look at what they stand for, look at the policies that they're proposing, and then vote your values. Vote that way. Because if you constantly listen to the radio, the news, and the commercials that both sides are proposed, like out there advertising, it just becomes like a lot of noise, and you don't know who's lying and who's this and who's that. You have to go to the record. Both of them have both candidates in New Jersey at least have a record of voting a certain way because they're both elected officials. So you just have to go to that and look at that and see what your values align with.
And Jennifer, because she has nothing to say, like the same Democrats, how they act, she had nothing to do other than defamation of Jack by lies with no proof. That's why Jack starts to sue her because
Yeah, I
it's
think
all
Jack
lies.
took action against her, took legal action against her for the last comment she made in the debate.
Yes.
So I do believe that there's some legal action going on there.
Because he never did that. It's all lies, and she will be like charged for this because no one accused somebody of killing tens of thousands of peoples and all that nonsense. That's all they do. It's the fascism that they keep spreading. They calling us fascists, yet they acting this way, calling people killers fascists. So they lead them to their death, like Charlie Kirk, like all these people that this is their agenda. What they do, accuse you
Yeah,
by
they want to win by bringing people down. Like they don't do
not
something good.
bringing
But
people
see,
down.
I'm less worse than my opponent. So they do this and this and this. Like Jack. I mean, yeah, Jack Shitterali. He's just like a publisher for pharmaceutical companies. He's not like a medical professional, and she blamed him on like the killing of tens of thousands of people who take these drugs. He didn't make the drugs. He's not like the doctor that prescribed the drugs. They just wanna like attack their the opposition just to win by doing this, by defaming other people. It reminds me also with Kamala Harris when she didn't have any plan. She didn't have any plan to improve anything, but she was just relying on attacking Trump. And the same thing is happening from Mikey Sherrill. She's trying to attack Jack just to be a winner. And she has another scandal, and she was blaming him for something that she already got like money for it. She got like 25 million for
You mean the stock?
from pharmaceutical companies.
Oh,
Yeah, and
do you mean the?
she attacked
Mm-hmm.
Jack just to like take it out of her shoulder and put it on Jack. It reminds me with something somewhere else, but I'm not gonna go into Islam now. But yeah, she takes it from her shoulder and put it on Jack's shoulder, and she dares to do that. And
I mean, we've
when
seen
they
this.
asked her like about the taxes, one second, I was just because I heard her saying this. She was saying to people of New Jersey, if you are good, you would take like the higher taxes. Oh my gosh. She said it may cost you an arm and leg, but if you are good, you would go for it. Hello? Your your job is to make me not pay higher taxes, not to tell me be good and take it. Be good and accept it. No, you're hired to make it lower. Like this is in Jack's plan to lower the taxes, but she's doing the
Mm-hmm.
opposite. Like, and also to be honest, I don't care about all this stuff. I know like taxes could go up and down, prices can go up and down, but as a Christian, as a child of God, I don't accept what she is gonna bring to New Jersey. Like what Jedediah just said about like protecting our kids, they're not gonna protect our kids. They will allow a lot of bad values that against our Christian values. If someone is doing this, I would know that this person is not good for us. We need to implant our like the values from like the Bible into our life. If someone comes with different morals, different teaching, different laws, I would not accept it. So this is like the most important thing that I care about when I pick like the person to represent me in my state. Thank you.
100%. It's about the values. I don't, Jennifer, I don't know if you have a palm card with you, um, but it's about the values. When we travel around, when Jennifer travels around, we have on a card, here's the 10 values facing Americans. Here's the 10 values facing you. Where do you line up on these values? Because where you line up, and that's how you should vote. And we have those values, and Jennifer can get those to you, that those palm cards. We have them
Uh,
in
Yeah,
we have
thank
them in
Yeah,
you.
we do
Arabic.
have like
We have
a lot of
we have foreign language ones also.
I just wanted to say that, um, especially about the school board in New Jersey and of course New York, you have to wake up because now we reaping what we saw. What all the Christians in New Jersey and New York that sit on their couch didn't go to vote, thinking, we are not for politics and like you have to wake up. Really, if you call yourself a Christian and choose not to vote, you're lying to yourself. How can you claim to follow Christ and yet leave your own children in the mouth of Satan to be devoured by his deceitful doctrine? These doctrines target our children with destructive sexual ideologies that confuses them. Tell them that they are in the wrong body and pressuring them and their parents to believe that if they don't change, they will end their lives with their own hands. All lies. So many young people have been led into darkness through these lies. Many who transition discover later that they have fallen into deep depression because of the unnatural hormonal changes. Tragically, some take their own lives, and in some cases, harm others as well. We have seen and witnessed heartbreaking acts of violence, such as mass shooting carried by the Robin Westman at the Catholic Church in Minnesota, and many others like it, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk by the boyfriend of a transgender person. All this nonsense, we reaping what we did with our own hands. We need to wake up and change it. The truth is, we are reaping what we have sown, and what we have sown is passivity. Many Christians say we are not into politics. We are Christians, but how can you say that when politics directly affects our children and our faith? That's exactly what the evil one wants you to believe through his lies, so that you stand by helplessly, watching as he devours your children while you feel there is nothing you can do to stop him. Throughout scripture, God, God's people were active in shaping nations and guiding leaders. Daniel served in government. Mordecai and Esther influenced a king to save their people. Joshua and Moses led God's people with courage and conviction. Joseph ruled Egypt with wisdom and righteousness. Even John the Baptist boldly told political leaders what was right in the eyes of God. And let us not forget how heaven itself once spoke to Emperor Constantine, leading him to a vision of the cross of the with the word, in this sign we will conquer, you will conquer. Through that sign, the he and ro, the first letter of Christ's name, he overcame and transformed the entire Roman Empire. So, yes, Christians must be involved in politics, not for power, but to protect truth, life, and faith. When we stay silent, evil fills the silence. It is time for Christians to stand, speak, and act as children of light.
And vote.
Dr. Rich, yeah, Dr. Rich, can you just elaborate on that? Like, some people don't want to get involved in politics as Christians. I know you talk to a lot of groups about this. Can you elaborate more on that? Like, why is it important as Christians?
Yeah, basically, people of faith, especially when they go to church, I mean, the surveys show this, the studies show this. They don't want their pastors talking about politics, and by politics they mean uh, parties, politicians, and personalities. They don't want to hear about Donald Trump from the pulpit. They don't want to hear about these kinds of things. However, what the studies also show, those same people that don't want to necessarily talk about politics in that way, they do want a pastor and a faith leader that talks about the issues they're dealing with on an everyday basis. The people in the pew, they do care about if there's boys and their girls or daughters restrooms. They care if there's men and women's sports. They care about life, the life of the unborn. They care about religious liberty. They care about the economics. They care about taxes. They care about the border. They care about crime. And when you have these conversations with people, and whenever the faith leaders have the courage to actually talk about the values on the ballot, you don't have to say I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, vote Republican, vote Democrat. You say here are the issues. These are the values. Our values, Christian values, are literally on the ballot. And like for you not to take a stand, for you not to even vote, that's unconscionable. Whenever you're in a place now, a lot of folks are from foreign countries that are there in New Jersey. They have the right to actually have a voice because we're a democratic society and a republic. And so for them not to even exercise that, but when they just think about politics, they're able to just not don't have to worry about it. But whenever they understand, and this is our job in the media, this is the faith leaders' jobs, it's our jobs, and we're talking to our friends to show them, I'm not here to try to sell you on a person or a personality or a party. I'm here to say these values, these are kitchen table values that are going to affect your family, your kids, and your kids' kids. However you feel on this, vote that way because the sides have never been further apart. It's not like, well, maybe there is no middle ground on abortion. There's no middle ground on just how many boys in a girl's restroom, how many men in women's sport. There's no middle ground. And so people know where they stand, and the way that they have a voice is through voting. And so I can't emphasize it enough. That's why I went to Jennifer. I said, Jennifer, we have to get back on that television program there in New Jersey or the podcast. And she said, okay, I'll get us back. I've been asking her for a couple of months. I said, hey, we got to get back on there because we have to encourage the people of New Jersey to know you came so close to your state being one, and now you have lots of help. You lost narrowly before, and the inches that are needed for your side for that to happen are all around you, but only if people will get out and vote their values.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that as to go back to, I think either to Divine Love, or I'm not sure who said this, but some opponents are starting to panic now, and that's why they're starting to, make up stories. So that's why I want us to focus, and even like when you're about to vote, a lot of people already voted by mail, but we got to pray before we vote, and I think that's really important. Like I literally will, do the sign of the cross, and I'll just go in there and I'll be like, this is a decision, this is my decision, and God gave me this decision. God gave me a mind. He gave me a mind to, do the research and not just follow blindly what people are telling me to do. But it's my decision, and I'm going to be judged on that decision. And we will
Yeah.
be. We will be judged by these decisions. Um, now,
Yeah.
I did want to start going into the issues because I know a few people already mentioned some of the issues. Dr. Rich mentioned, the sanctity of life, which is such an important issue, especially in New Jersey, where, we're competing with California on having the most, abhorrent laws on abortion. Here we have something called the Reproductive Freedom Act in New Jersey, and it was passed a couple of years ago. And it literally, you can kill a baby up to 9 months. And I mean, I can't even imagine this happening in our state with so many people of faith here. Like we have hundreds of thousands of churches in New Jersey. Why is this happening? Why is this allowed? So this is something that, we can, push back a little bit. Both candidates have proposed their policies on what they believe the sanctity of life is, and one has a very, like, it has closer to the current Reproductive Freedom Act, and one is steered a little bit further away. But our job is to look up these policies that each candidate has proposed and say, how can I vote for this, and how can I say that, oh, this is aligning with my values. I mean, even not only about the baby in the womb issue, but even like with ageism, we have this thing where we're now seeing that some legislators are proposing that we, you know, um, end the life of, I think it's called assisted suicide.
Euth- It's euthanasia. Yeah.
Yeah, euthanasia. And I think that this it's both sides of the aisle. It's sanctity of life, period. It's not only about, a baby or this. It's about all humans, all of our people. And we shouldn't just let them die, or we shouldn't it's, and literally we're choosing this because we're choosing the people who are making these laws. So we're saying it's okay.
Exactly. It's like that's what socialist is all about. They don't care about the value of life. Like if it wasn't for President Trump, they would be killing babies up to 9 months. But now we have up to like the first semester.
Like with abortion, when was everything was illegal to be in the country. We, by the way, people get Trump wrong about not having illegals in the country. He didn't say all immigrants. He said illegal immigrants. So he does not hate immigrants. He loves immigrants, but come legally. You are welcomed here, but when you are legally presented in a country, because
and
if you go to like the illegal ways, they send us. We have the right to pick who comes into our country. I came here. I'm immigrant myself. We like most of like of us except like Dr. Richard are immigrant, but we came the right way. I know like Jennifer, like her family are immigrants. So we all came like the right way. We came legally. We came through visas. We went like through like long system, and so America has the right also to pick who comes to their country and to go through their procedure. Not like to let the other countries like send us.
I have. Can you hear her, guys? Cannot hear.
I think we lost. I
Oh,
think we lost her.
I I want to say that Mamdani is like records shows a pattern of extreme and impractical policies
Hmm.
that would weaken New York City's economy and public safety. But Andrew Cuomo, actually, with his long record of executive experience, has demonstrated the ability of to manage complex challenges um, um, and deliver results. Actually, New York needs strong, steady leadership, not divisive ideology, and Como proven track record makes him a far more capable choice for city's future. So we actually, yes, Como is not Republican like us, but I think he's the best choice. What do you guys think? Like, I don't know, but I, to me, I think he's the best choice. I know the other Republican guy. I don't know him. I never know what he can do. So that's what I think, but I don't know what you guys would think. Also, like Mamdani's like ideas often create division and confusion rather than peace and progress. Like as Divine told us, like he stand for Hamas. He refused to say Hamas was wrong or anything like that, and he called it resistance. Like what? What a resistance? Resistance against what? And you had nobody occupy your Gaza. Gaza was free. Why you resisting that against? So it's all lies.
So
Um,
I think that like one of the biggest reasons, I know a lot of people like who are really young that work in the city and live in the city in New York, and one of the things that they're, that attracts them about Mamdani is that they think that he's going to get them out of a financial disaster. But already we see that his proposals are going to cost the city and taxpayers almost 330 million in just 1 year. So it's not I think that people really need to understand, if you're going to make something free, you have to understand where that money is going to come from. And if you're going to make things, like if you're going to make a bus fares free, then you're going to pay in safety, because that's where all the criminals are going to hang out. So there's I think like a lack of understanding, and that's why we had to be a knowledgeable voter. You can't just go in blindly and vote by color. You have to go in with knowledge of who is on the ballot and the issues that are on the ballot. And it's really hard to say what's going to happen in New York, but regardless of what happens in New York, I think that New Jersey will be affected. There's going to be like an exodus,
exactly.
like a major exodus from New York into New Jersey. And we're going to see a lot of these people who didn't want to get involved in the political arena. They didn't want to vote. They didn't want to participate in, like, any of the candidates. They didn't like any of the candidates or something like that, whatever it is. So they're going to migrate to New Jersey and, other surrounding areas. And that's going to be a big problem. I mean, I think that we had Jack, he said, oh, we welcome them with open arms. But it really does cause a problem here because these people are not voting. So if they're coming into New Jersey and, they're constantly believing that the same, ideology or the same, voices that are telling them, oh, this is vote this way or vote that way, then it's never going to change. So we need people to get more involved. I don't know how it's going to end up over there. I will say I'm hopeful in New Jersey, but I'm not very hopeful for what happens in New York.
Exactly, like because socialism may sound ideal and in theory, but in practice, it weakens cities like New York City. It discourages hard work, drives away small businesses, and replaces work and make the city prosper. We would not see that. New York City thrives when free enterprise, creativity, and individual responsibility, and encouraged.
Mhm.
Not when government control limits success. Our
Mhm.
city was built by dreamers and doers, not by socialists. Not by socialist policies that punish achievements. This is very bad, very bad. When the city, like all businessmen, this is New York City, it's all about businessmen, and you put socialists there, it's a destruction. Destruction not just for the New York City, it's a destruction for all the US.
I was thinking about like all the songs in the past that were about New York and dreams are made in New York. I feel like, you know, dreams are dreams in New York are going to be squashed if, a certain person wins, but it's going to be a very very tough, very close race. I think we should all, consider praying about this, including New Jersey and Virginia and all the other places having elections. Pennsylvania has a, huge school board election, and their judges are up. Um, but we definitely need to focus on, praying and talking to others about getting out and voting, and, just telling people to drown out the noise from like the commercials and the TV and just focus on what the facts are.
Mhm. Actually, well, we can see that the President Trump trying to protect the kids of the United States and also working on supporting more the businessmen and like the companies and all these. We see that Mamdani trying to do the opposite. We can see that he faces criticism for his policies. He plans to raise taxes on big companies and the wealthy people who benefit this country and support the workforce. And he promised to spend 65 million on gender transition treatments for minors, which is something really serious also and dangerous for this country. And he has also received donations from controversial groups like CIR, like
Care.
it's yeah, it's like something really serious to talk about it also. Mhm.
Yeah, I think the whole education thing is going to be a rough issue in New York. um I mean, it's the same, like I call them like the coastal states in California, in New Jersey, New York. We have like this major education problem. We're battling a lot of these organizations that are flooding our legislators and our governors with money, and they're the ones who decide how our education system will go. This is a huge problem. Even, I mean, I know you're concerned specifically about New York, but in New Jersey, we have organizations like SECUS. We have organizations like, um, New Jersey. I think it's called Greater Equality or something like that. It's another like 501(c)(3), and we have even the New Jersey State Board Association is flooding our governor and legislators with money. The NJEA, the teachers union, they give all kinds of, you know like millions of dollars to our governor so they can promote comprehensive sex education or promote a different ideology, DEI or SEL. I mean, I'll tell you my experience, my personal experience of why I got involved was because of a family in my church that who had just been in the United States for not even 5 years, and they had received a letter in the mail from the Board of Education in a city in New Jersey, telling them that they're going to help them and guide them and how to affirm their child's gender identity choices. Now, I don't know how to translate that to Arabic because there is no words like that. There's no, how do you translate gender affirming to a parent who doesn't even know what that means, who's only been in the country for 5 years? And the only reason they got this letter in the mail was because their child, a 5-year-old boy, picked out a pink sticker with ballerina slippers on it, that it was like just like something this big, like a sticker this big. And the Board of Education sent them a letter in the mail helping to help. it, it was like a guidance letter. It was like saying that this is what we're going to do to help you, like with your child's gender affirming care.
Or your child will kill himself.
Well, they don't say that, those, they don't use those words. They're very wise in what they say, but it's just, it's, to me it's like unbelievable that they put this family through this. And it took 2 years for them to get to resolve it. But it's, they take advantage of the vulnerability of people from different countries, or maybe they live in just more like more areas that are like city areas and things like that. So I just remember that, and that's when I decided to get involved. But that's only one circumstance or one scenario. I'm sure there's hundreds of scenarios like this where they're
But
taking advantage of people who don't know what to do, who didn't have a church, who don't have a church to turn to and help them and maybe get them a lawyer like we did. But it's just, I can imagine maybe there's a family out there who said, okay, so yeah, let's do this. I don't know what this is, but let's go for it. Gender affirming, this sounds very nice. It sounds like it's they're trying to help us. And then they go through the process, and then they, their kids are later put on puberty blockers, and then later, you know cutting off healthy body parts. So it's very, very traumatic to, for a family, especially that's coming from Egypt and like small villages in Egypt. They have no idea what this stuff means, and they're coming here for a better life, the American dream, and they're just bombarded with, you know politics and ideology and this and that. They can't even, focus on the real reasons why they came to this country. So it's very sad that, this is where we're at. And but at the same time, in the darkness it shines light. So that's our job. That's what we have to do. We have to be the light, and guide our neighbors to, a good moral society.
exactly. And that's why we need to choose Jack, because he actually he did a lot of things like in that field. Like he has signed on the commitments like the Stand with Women pledge, affirming support for protecting sex-based rights and female opportunities in sports and single-sex spaces. He emphasized parental rights in education and school curriculum, transparency, which they do to us all the time. They take our kids, teach them stuff, and we realize that what nobody told me, you know. But he be sure that the curriculum transparency through endorsements from conservative and family policies organizations, which is great. That's what we need. We need somebody to be clear with us, telling us what they teach our kids. We'll be in control. And that's why we need not just to vote for Jack, we need to vote all the line down, all of it. School board, everything, whatever follows, vote for it, because that's very important for our children. We cannot risk that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys something that one of the legislators who are up for assembly this year, who's up for assembly this year, literally puts out a statement that says, they said, every child belongs to the state of New Jersey. So your children don't belong to you, they belong to the state, is what they're saying. And that's
Exactly.
what they believe. They believe that your child belongs to the state.
Exactly. Socialist Democrats, this is their policy. They want to take our children from us. They don't want to us to educate our children the way we know, or teach them our values, our Christianity. No, they want to say your child is our child. We raise them the way we want. We brainwash them the way we want. You have no control over your children.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The issue of like parental rights is, just coming through my head again. Um, that's going to be something that's on the ballot as well. Our parents are fighting in New Jersey just to be able to take their kids out of certain classes and, certain teachings. So they need to know that it's 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 a matter of who you vote for, and that's why you're having these issues. So if a parent doesn't like what's happening in the school, they don't have the right to take their child out of that class. Even our religious exemptions are at stake here in New Jersey. So we just have to be very careful with issues of parental rights, like even like medical exemptions and things like that. There where it's at risk right now in New Jersey.
Exactly. And like lately we found like the UK saying, oh, if you believe in Western civilization or whatever, like our civilization, you are racist or you're white supremacist or what fascist, whatever. That's what's coming if we continue to vote, letting Democrats win. That's what will happen. That that's why all the cities that under control of Democrats, the rise for anti-Semitism and all this stuff happening all the time. And you know the rule: Jews first, then Christians. This is how it works. So like we find like somebody like Mamdani, it's a symbolic of that. They will continue go after us as Christians and Jews, and of course, always the Jews first. So once you see anti-Semitism, know you're next. That's the rule. That's your next. Then anti-Semitism has no place in our country, or in New York, anywhere. Like let's see what happened in Washington D.C. It's like it's 300%, or what they call it, like three times what it was, and more now, I guess. The last time I checked. Uh, uh,
Let me tell you something. Sorry to
mhm,
interrupt you, but
mhm,
yeah, before you leave this point,
um,
they said like the owner of the biggest food stores, like a big chain in New York,
mhm, mhm,
he said if Mamdani like won the election, he would close all his stores. Like people go attack the stores and they steal stuff already. So imagine if Mamdani made it free for them. This person are not gonna like make any money. These people are not gonna be able to live in this state, and it's gonna be a big mess, as we said before. It failed before. Like I don't understand it. If you tried something and you have like a plan and this plan failed, would you like repeat it? That's like not smart. So
No,
exactly.
yeah, go ahead.
Mhm. Go ahead, doctor.
no,
You
I
want?
agree. 100%.
Oh,
100%.
uh,
The Mandami vote is, it's not so much about what people are for as it is what people are against. And so it is the people that actually absolutely hate Donald Trump on the right. They're trying to run as far left as they can. That's the derangement syndrome. That's that whole, that's hatred. It's fueled by hate. It's not fueled by history. It's not fueled by logic. It's not fueled by common sense. And and with and it's also, there's no real competition. I mean, Como carries a lot of baggage. I mean, there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seniors that died because of decisions he made whenever he was in that position of power as governor. I mean, horrible decisions. Um, and it's documented. He is still under lawsuits for sexual harassment and those kinds of things for the women that worked for him. And so there's all kind of baggage there. The third candidate nobody really knows. But when you combine Kumo's vote with the other candidate's vote, it's almost equal to the Mandami vote. And so, bottom line, one of those two has to drop out, or there's not even going to be a realistic chance of beating the front runner. On the other hand, I honestly think Donald Trump is completely okay if Mandami wins. He will show the world another what failure looks like when you become a socialist part of a state or a state or whatever else. And so I think we have to pray for the people of New York. The people of New York are not. I mean, they're smart. They're savvy. They don't want their police defunded. They don't want free to stand in line to get their food. Um, they don't want Israel to become second class. They want Israel to be first class.
Did we lose him, or my connection is bad?
Maybe the connection,
I
his connection
think
not here.
Oh, okay. I also want to add something that also the rise of anti-Semitism was one of the reasons they choose Memdani in New York specifically, like for some reason, which is that's this generation is so evil, and we as Christians we are more, and we and the Jews are more in number, but the like the being passive, that's what make these kind of people uh, go on the surface and be able to win. But if we stood up, like I believe we can defeat that guy, because like we as Christian we cannot let anti-Semitism win in this country. And if this guy took the mayor of became the mayor of the New York City, you will see anti-Semitism like never before. Like now it's very high. You will see like never before. Like our cities always stood against a beacon, like stood sorry as a beacon of the diversity and mutual respect, where people of every faith and background can live in safety and dignity. That is why it's deeply concerning when public figure appears to tolerate or excuse rather than that fuels division or targets the Jewish community. We must hold all leaders to the highest moral standard. New York deserves leadership that defend our Jewish neighbors, confront hate in every form, and restores unity to our city.
I
That's
want to say something to the Muslim community too. Did you finish?
yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. For Muslims, because I saw like a clip, a Muslim guy was talking to Muslim that's Mamdani is a Muslim. So the only qualification that he has that he is a Muslim. Oh, hello, you live in this country and this country is not Muslim, and you leave Muslim countries to come live in these countries because they're not Muslim, and you're happy with it. You love it. They give you health care free. They give you shelter free. They give you education for your kids free. Everything here for people who are not able to afford it, it's free for you. You don't have this in Muslim countries. So when you came here, you picked here because it's not governed by Muslim. And is it the only thing about him is Muslim, but he's gonna like destroy the country. He will let like the illegal to come, and they have a lot of criminals, they have a lot of terrorists. So you don't care about this. You don't care about like the life you're gonna live, the safety of your kids, like the economy, the good economy that you can enjoy, just for him being Muslim. And he could destroy you, and just if he, because he is Muslim, you're gonna go with him.
And in,
Congratulations on that.
and the sexual education in their schools. Who? What kind of Muslim will let a child go under a kind of ideology, wicked ideology? Would
It's
you
better
like?
also for Muslim. The Christian value is good for Muslim too. You don't need biosecurity. to be in your community and to be normalized. You don't want your kids to choose their identity or change whatever God gives them in the first place when they were born. You
Or
don't need like to do abortion and kill little babies and make people make it easy for them to commit adultery or do bad things, and they know that they will like get rid of the baby. So you don't need that as a Muslim. If you are a good person, if you have like morality, good morality, you're not gonna go with like all these things. And for us as Christian of Egypt, as Coptic of Egypt, we suffer a lot from this kind of teaching, the hate, like the Sharia law. One day, if you're gonna go with this person, maybe one day you're gonna go with another for the same reason, just for being Muslim. And then they can like apply the Sharia law, the law that you already escaped your country, you left your country and you came to the other country that doesn't apply it because you want to get like a good living, a safety for your family. So this is like the way you think of it as like just for being Muslim is really wrong. We suffer as like we know like what we see on TV or like on the news or people are talking about like how minority or how Christian are suffering in these countries. And I had like a video. I don't know if we can like have this. A person was saying that once we are strong in New York or in America in general, we can launch jihad. Like we can kill whoever doesn't believe in God. Then he would be killed. So they're gonna bring what they do in the Middle East, in Egypt and Syria and other Muslim countries. They're gonna bring it here to America and to the West. Do you
yeah,
agree on this? You wanna live this life?
moderate Muslims don't want that. Moderate Muslim want to live in peace and come to
Yeah,
the
I'm
West.
speaking to these people now.
Yeah, and no Muslim want a man, a full man, but go to their bathroom, to his daughter's bathroom. No
Right.
Muslim want.
Right.
Mhm.
Now we have some questions from people. Can we just ask these questions? I got some questions from
Sure. How do
uh,
we, Divine, can you help us out with the questions?
yeah, someone said like Sam from Free Thought channel, Free Thought channel. Basim Sam, he's asking. He said like Trump administration's assessment of recent U.S. State Department reports, such as the 2023 report on religious freedom in Egypt, particularly regarding restrictions on religious conversion from Islam to Christianity. How does the administration plan to implement USCIRF 2023 and 2025 recommendations, such as placing Egypt on a special watch list due to arbitrary arrest of converts and harassment of Christian communities? Because let me just like explain this, because we have like some people who are converting from Islam to Christianity. They get
Mhm.
arrested for it, they get jailed, tortured.
Yeah.
We have someone named Saeed Abu Mustafa. The only crime he committed is to ask for his religion in his ID to be changed from Islam to Christianity, to be a
Yeah.
Christian person. He was jailed, tortured, and until now, he's not released, and he didn't even have a case against him. So this is like one of millions, I believe. There's millions of converts in Egypt that cannot live freely. They cannot like document their no religion on their IDs, and like a lot of people are complaining from it. So
I would love to respond to this. This is another topic that I was going to bring up. We're doing a lot of work also with Hindus. Issue that I see that's happening, and I'm not going to answer your question directly, but I'm going to answer it in regards to what happens in New Jersey when people vote. And so what like for example, a lot of the Hindus are very upset about some of Trump's doctrine or some of what he's doing as it relates to the nation of India. And so there's some within the Hindu population there saying, "Oh, we all got to vote for Democrat. We all got to vote Democrat because of what's happening, because of policies they have that are affecting India." And so there's so many different ethnic groups represented in the state of New Jersey, and the way America interacts with all those different nations on a multitude of issues, everything from Christian persecution, which you brought up earlier, to this situation of conversion, to the issues that India has with trade, all those kinds of things. And here you may not like my response, but my response is this: when we're engaging with people about this election, which takes place in just 3 weeks, right? I think we have to bring the discussion back to, I understand all that, but we're not going to solve all that in the next 3 weeks. And I can't convince you one way or the other. What I can say is the election in 3 weeks isn't about those things. The election in 3 weeks is about the values that are on the ballot. Okay, and so while that those things may be concerns, I understand that, and we work that through diplomatic ways, and we've been the different pressures and things like that. But for right now, we need to focus on the issues that affect the people, the different nationalities that are living in New Jersey, for their next governor, for their next attorney, for all the different positions that are up right now. And so those issues are valid issues, but those aren't going to be solved in the next 3 weeks. What is going to be decided in the next 3 weeks is who your next governor is. What is going to be decided is all those issues we talked about. You're talking about transgender. You're talking about men and girls sports, boys and girls bathrooms, all the value issues that are critical to all those people of faith from all those nations are on the ballot in New Jersey right now. And that needs to be the focus. We can debate U.S. policy in all the nations of the Middle East, and we can have that conversation for hours, but we're not going to change the mind of a president in the conversations we're having in New Jersey over the next 3 weeks. What we can do is we can ensure that New Jersey does not go based on what you believe, should either going to go further left or further to the right. That's the decision, and that's what the impact we can have right now. Hope that makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
I
does.
see that very
So
true.
yeah, thank you. That's why I said like we have to make the good choice for us to proceed with our case to whoever like gonna be in power or in office.
Right.
Thank you.
But we have to redirect those conversations back to, I understand that, but what matters right now is I have no impact on that, but I do have an impact just by being on this program. I do have an impact just by literally employing Jennifer and sending her to the state of New Jersey. But all of you have your impact through your spheres of influence on what's happening right now, which is this next 3 weeks is going to make a major decision for the direction of the state of New Jersey for you, your kids, and your grandkids. That's what matters right now.
Yes. Thank you.
Do we have another question?
I see two. I see two in the
Yeah, we
chat.
have to like get the phone number.
Not when government control limit that.
We
I
think
think like
you're
a lot of
the
people also they had like other questions similar to this one. They were concerned about like Coptic of Egypt, like girls that are kidnapped and like forced into Islam and stuff like that. But we actually, guys, we're gonna like have another like show, and we're gonna invite other people specialized in this in the religious freedom, and we're gonna make another show for this in specific. Yeah, thank you.
yeah. And actually, Divine, President Donald Trump he already talked about the persecution of the Christians in the Middle East. So I believe that he is working on that since he bring that to the table. Yeah.
There are people around him that have the same concerns. It's not like it's completely out of, their views and their vision right now. But as far I what I like to talk about is we don't want to have New Jersey be the next Egypt. I
Yeah.
think that we don't want whatever is going on there to happen here. My parents and most of you guys have fled these places, these countries, because you're looking for, you want to worship freely. You want to have raise a family, and not have to worry about your kids being kidnapped. So I think that maybe there at that time people weren't really thinking about that. But here we have the opportunity to foster these ideas of voting every single election, vote your values, and get out there and be involved in the political arena, run for office, do this, do that. So
Mm-hmm.
these are these are this is how I think of it. This is what I believe is important. My family left there, and I want to raise my family here and know that people are going to be safe. And I have the opportunity to make my voice heard, but maybe over there they don't.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. That's why I said like we have to pick the right people, people who are gonna defend our rights, people who
Mhm.
are matching with our values, like their values matches our values.
Or the
So we
closest.
have to make the right
Our values the
choice
closest.
now. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. So technically, what we can see, like a person who incites against killing kids and receiving support from suspicious Islamic groups and incites hatred and uh, oppression and against a country that has strong relationship with the United States and exchanges like we exchange like technology with them and we have many benefits with Israel. So a person like that who came and start doing all those things, this person may be opposed of a danger to the Christians in the future and the people in that country. So they must be more wise in thinking about those people who are like like that. Hmm. Yeah.
I do know like everybody has these concerns about like people in other countries, especially Christians who are the minority. But we have the opportunity to bring back like our what our founding fathers in America wanted, and I think that that's really important. We have the opportunity to change things around, and I already see it happening. I see it with our youth. They're paying more attention to what's going on, and they don't like it, which is great because they're the future, right? And I appreciate like these types of you know channels that express what's really going on out there, because there's just so much noise, and there's just so many ideas, and everybody is saying something, and you don't know what to believe. So we have to be wise. We have to ask for discernment and pray that God, um, he opens our hearts and minds to do the work, to actually get out there and do the work. It's our job to do the work. God has given us a voice. He's given us the ability to do things. We actually have to take the action and do it.
Yeah, and as we see, like when President Trump said stuff, and he like delivered what he said he's gonna do. He
Yeah.
said like he's gonna make peace in the Middle East, and he did. And we appreciate that very much, and we show the world like the child of God, when he says something, he does what he said he's gonna do, unlike the enemy that lies and lies and lies, thinking by lying a lot he will believe himself and people will believe him. But this is not true. We saw and expose the devil in the other people that try to like make Trump to damage like his image in front of people. But by his work he was able to prove them wrong, and to prove that he's the man of God, the man of peace, like the peacemaker, like blessed, the peacemaker, as like God told us. So we want to thank him. We appreciate everything he did, and we also, as Christian and as specifically as like Coptic of Egypt, we are looking forward for President Trump in the future. I'm not talking about now because we're busy with the election now, but I mean in the future we are looking forward to also to make peace for the Christian in the Middle East, either Coptic or like Syrian people and people in different countries. We need peace as well. We are, yeah, we congratulate the Gazans for having peace in the land already, and we are looking forward to have peace for our Coptic uh, community, for like people of Egypt, people who are persecuted, against girls that are kidnapped and taken away from their families by force, forcing them into Islam or marrying another person against their will. So yeah, we like I hope like my voice reach President Trump, and I believe, and I like I know that he's gonna do something about it. And thank you so much, Dr. Richard and Jen.
Thank
Sister,
you.
I'm a-
Sister Divine, I noticed that. Can you take a look at the YouTube comments? There are lots of questions there. Yeah, but I guess our episode is over. Yeah.
I'm gonna look and
I
see.
uh, okay. You have the commercial drawing. I just want to say something that a lot of people don't notice. The Islamization of the womb in Egypt. Actually, it's not just like taking girls and force them into Islam and stuff like that. No, it's actually destroying. It's um, like ending the Christian community in Egypt that way, because once the girl lost her chastity in Egypt, in a conservative community like our community, she's done. There is no more marriages for her. Especially when she bear a Muslim child, and they 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 force her into marriage because in the Sharia law, if the child came out of wedlock, the child cannot be belong to the father, and they be scared that child turn to become Christian, so they have to force her into Islam in order to make the marriage happen, because there is no legal guardian for her for the marriage if they are Christian. So she has to be converted into Islam, and to take the child, force to make that child a Muslim child, and that way, then they throw her in the street. They don't care. And if even she returned back to Christianity, they don't care because her future ended there. And this way, they wanted to limit us as community and stop our growing, because we growing rapidly. We are the biggest, as you know, we are the biggest Christian community in the Middle East, and they want to finish that. They want to end us fast, and that's the way they hunt us. They hunt the Nigerian girls the same way, and these days is the number in a rise. Like before, in my time, there was big number of girls were being raped and all that stuff, and the girls would throw themselves from the balcony. And our church will gather us and tell us, hey, don't try to kill yourself, don't try to do anything, just return back and everything gonna be fine. But that's what make me like the rest of my life, I was so scared to leave home. If I want to college, if I went to college, my dad would have to drive me there, and my dad has to bring me back. It was hell on earth, literally, for me in Egypt. So I understand now that, because the number in a rise, and the number of kidnapped girls on a rise in Egypt. Now there is no safety. Our community cannot be safe anymore. They cannot send their children. The parents now afraid to send their children to school and to churches and stuff like that, because it's so scary to lose your chastity, to lose it. That's mean you lost everything. You lost your future. They changed the girls paper on the same day, while we have millions of converts from Islam to Christianity. Till now their papers cannot be changed. They stop them from marrying. They cannot marry. They cannot live their life normal. They cannot marry Christian, of course. They put their lives on hold, literally, to force them either return back to Islam or leave the country because you have no life here. So who can live like this? We lost everything. We lost our dignity. We lost our. We are losing our faith. We're losing everything because we are under attack, and that's why we asking Trump just. We know he's aware, but we know he's not aware of what's going on at this moment. These days now, the number on a rise in a big time, big time.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. We just have to, keep fighting and, knock on doors and see who opens up.
Did Divine? I think Divine is not here.
Oh.
But we have what is that?
So
Yeah.
I think that brings us to the end of the show. I just want to thank everyone for having us. Dr. Rich, thank you for your time. And all of you, thank you for your very insightful comments and, you know, sharing your thoughts on what's coming up very quickly on November 4th, the election, both here in New Jersey and in New York. I think we have the opportunity to make a real difference. And I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to come on this platform and speak about the issues at hand. Thank you, guys.
I will always accept this invitation. I love coming on with you folks.
Thank you, Dr. Rich.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much.